Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I am so late. Faffing around. Actually, not really faffing around, but actually probably a little bit truthfully. But my darn laptop decided to do like an update. Um, and anyways, look, I'm so sorry, but here I am. Here I am. Um, let's dive in. Let us dive in. If you're here live, I'm so delighted to be with you. If you're listening or watching at some other time, I'm so delighted to be with you as well. I'm just going to get comfortable. As you can see, it is the most exquisite, beautiful summer, Indian summer day in Somerset in England. I'm just going to get comfortable. Comfortable. I'm going to go out for a walk slash run slash something afterwards. I'm digging for something because I want to show you something in a second. But hey, so delighted to be with you. Now, I love coming to you on a Saturday like this because it's like a pulling together of the week. I've been doing these lives during the week, but anyways, enough of that. So here's what we're looking at today. We're looking at you. We're looking at you creating a big breakthrough, a great change in your life. Growth doesn't have to be that there's anything wrong with your life now. It doesn't have to mean you're not grateful, thankful for everything that you have now. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you're expanding, you're advancing, you're progressing in life, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to grow, contribute, make the most of ourselves, bring those talents out that are in us to bring out for our good and the good of all. So, have you ever set an intention or set a goal and blow me down if it doesn't happen? You are motivated, you're fired up, you have worked on your motivation, you have fired yourself up, right? Lord knows you might have gone on a Tony Robbins course and walked on hot coals, right? Have you done that before? I have done that before. And here's the thing, I have seen it doesn't guarantee that you necessarily do the thing, create the change, the breakthrough that you want to create, right? I saw this so clearly. Some years ago, I went in this course. We were jammed into a room over the weekend, like 300 of us, right? And it was a sort of break you down, build you up again type of thing. And it was one of those like boot camp situations where, like, if you wanted to leave the room for a bathroom break and it wasn't an official bathroom break, people would be at the door going, "No, why are you wanting to leave now? What has the speaker said that has triggered you?" You see, it was one of those situations. Look, I'm not knocking it. Actually, it was pretty amazing. Not for the faint-hearted. Anyway, here's the point. Everybody's fired up, excited. We get through the darn thing. It's Sunday night. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10:30. And, we have been sleep deprived, if you like, and haven't had a lot of food, but we're fired up and we're running on adrenaline. And the speaker's on the stage and he goes, "So, how are you all? How are you feeling? Fantastic. Woohoo! Woohoo!" All of that stuff, right? And he goes, "So now how long do you think you're going to feel this way?" And we're like slightly confused by that question. So obviously the answer is forever. Whoa, forever. And he looked at us. We knew he was going to say something, but we couldn't figure out what the heck it was. Sorry, I've got this running bra on underneath. You're probably thinking, why is Fiona wearing a black top under a light colored top? But you're probably not wondering that at all. Anyways, so the speaker is looking at us in a serious way, and we're thinking, what is going on here, right? And he said, "Well, I do these trainings every weekend in a different country, different audience. It's the same situation because people are the same the world over." And he said, "You're going to feel something of this, not this level of motivation exactly, but something of this until Wednesday evening." We're like, silence. Ah, no. And he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're serious, you got to get into accountability. You got to set up a process of accountability. Otherwise, you could feel actually deflated, potentially depressed by Thursday, Friday, Saturday for sure, because you've revved yourself up, you've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, where you want to go, and you're in this environment of growth and expansion. And if you go out of this room and you're on your own, you will feel the difference. You will be dispirited, possibly depressed. And I've got to be honest with you, you know the way you have those times in life where something stays with you, it just stays with you? That's one of those times. Now, have you ever had a time when you felt disappointed, perhaps confused, because you look back and you think, gosh, how come that didn't happen? I wanted that so much. I was so clear, so motivated, so up for it. I took action to begin with. And then what happened? You might even have blamed yourself for perhaps not having enough motivation, perhaps not having enough willpower. Look, the good news is it's not that. It's not that at all. Now, I saw that this week so clearly, life-changing from Sunday because of this little device. Now, this little device, it's a bit old school, I admit it. It's a pedometer. You clip it on and it tells you how many steps you are taking during the course of the day. I thought I'd just, check in and see what it was like. I swear it's been life-changing because, look, I'm an exerciser, yes. But in fact, when I look at my lifestyle, I'm sitting down a lot of the time. I'm on the phone, I'm doing emails on my laptop, right? That's not healthy for any of us. So here's what I saw. I got this pedometer and I began to see tick, 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 steps or lack of steps, right? I am so fired up. I wake up in the morning early because I want to get those steps in. It's made a massive difference. So I put it to you that it could be the same for you, that really, truly creating, sustaining, following through on a goal, a dream, a breakthrough requires you to put in place a way of measuring your progress step by step, so that you have a way of seeing it on a daily basis. You get to break it down so you get to see what you're doing towards it on a daily basis. Now, here's the other thing. My neighbor came along, Charlotte, because she was talking to me about this thing as well, the steps. So she happened to pop by yesterday. I said, how are you doing with the steps? She said, I am doing great with the steps. I'm on 10,000 a day. I'm like, whoa, 10,000 a day. I'm on 7 on a good day. Possibly 5, possibly 3, if I'm not careful. So that immediately made me think, girl, we got to join forces. We got to join forces. It made me feel like I had a buddy to support me and cajole me and pull me forward. And that is something you got to get in place as well if you're serious. If you're serious, because look, don't leave this to chance. Don't leave this to motivation. And the thing is, it's not like it's a measure of your commitment. No, this is just like how we're designed, human beings. Change is a challenge. I mean, it just is. It's a challenge. So you get to put in place ways to support you to follow through, chart your progress, get accountable, get support. So is this all making sense? Give me a yes if this is making sense. So here's the other thing I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to share with you that there's a lot of talk about manifesting. There's a lot of talk, obviously, about the secret and the law of attraction, and what you focus on is what you get. And I love all that stuff, of course. And I got to see something, a bit of a nuance to that this week. So Have you ever, I'm going to close the door actually in a second. Kids are out the back playing, so you can probably hear that. Anyways, so have you ever practiced the law of attraction and perhaps you haven't got the result? Hello, that's like all of us, right? Okay, so I got to see I got to see a subtle interpretation of applying the law of attraction this week, right? So for a little while, I've been thinking about creating a change in my own life. And I had a dream about it on Sunday night where I actually had the result in my life. So I woke up on Monday morning and it was like I had been shown. It was like a movie. It was like I had watched a movie of what my life would be like with that addition in my life. And I could remember it vividly when I woke up. And I remember wanting to hold on to it so I could jot it down and hold on to it. But here's what I really woke up with, the feeling. I woke up with the feeling of what it would feel like to have that particular result, addition in my life. Now, remember, a big part of what everybody talks about in terms of manifesting and the law of attraction is the feeling. Neville Goddard, one of the early teachers on metaphysics, big influencer for Wayne Dyer, wonderful Wayne Dyer. Neville Goddard, his most famous book is The Feeling. Feeling is the secret. So it's not enough to think, it's about generating the feeling, because of course you're changing your energy, your vibration. So you know that, I know that, right? So here's what I got to see. I got to feel the feeling. And I also saw that I get to choose. I got to choose. So I could still walk away from that potential outcome, that addition. And I got to see that I had a choice to choose it or not. So I chose it. I've chosen it. But here's the thing, choosing it, setting your desire in motion, getting the feeling and feeling as though you have already achieved that result, that's not enough. Here's what I really got to see. I got to see that you have to follow through. You get the dream, you get clear on the dream, and you choose the outcome. And then I feel what needs to happen is you got to actually allocate some space in your life for that outcome, for that addition. In other words, you get to do something different. Because think about it. If you say to yourself, yes, that sounds good, that looks good, that feels great, I'm going to go for it. I'm all in, I'm committed. But you go back on Monday afternoon to life as normal, and you go back into that groove of how life was the week before. You're back in that groove. You're back in that groove. That's what that trainer was telling us in that hotel room all those years ago. He was saying you'll be back into your old groove. It's not like you're lazy. It's not like you're not committed. It's not like you don't want it. But life, your old ways, the patterns, it's a well-worn track, and it'll pull you back there by Wednesday evening. So I really saw that clearly on Monday. And I got to see that if I want something different, if you want something different, you've got to create space. You've got to allocate space in your life, in the way that you live, in your daily life, right? Otherwise, you're back into the old ways. You're back into the old ways, and nothing different can come your way because you haven't created the option. You haven't created the space. You haven't allocated the space. So dream, do something different. It's not enough just to get the feeling. It's not enough just to get the feeling and sit at home with the feeling and wait for that result. I mean, look, maybe if you were some monk from the Himalayas and you've been meditating since the age of 2, You can manifest things just with the power of your mind. You don't have to do a single thing. I think for most of us, it requires a little bit more on the physical plane. Third thing I want to suggest to you in terms of creating this breakthrough that you want. It's a subtle thing, but I actually think it's the thing. Probably the number one thing, if I'm honest, that I think holds us back, could be holding you back from manifesting that result. And what is it? It's your resistance. It's your internal resistance. It's you not being fully, thoroughly, deeply, clearly on board with that outcome, with that addition, with that result, with that thing. It's not an outside obstacle, it's an internal obstacle. Now, I know that could sound strange because on the one hand, we consciously choose, we're up for it, we might even make a big list of all the reasons why it's so great, we're on board. But I put it to you that if it's not showing up, you may want to check out and perhaps get some help to check out internal unconscious blocks you may have to it. Now, I got to see this a while ago. I'm going to be really honest with you here, right? Don't judge me. But I was going out for dinner one evening. Well, no, I wanted to go out for dinner one evening. My son was staying with me. And I said, darling, let's go out for dinner. Hey, come on, let's go. And he said, no, I don't want to. Mom, you always want to go out and do stuff. I'm just going to chill on the sofa. He'd just come to visit for like a couple of days. Let me just relax. I put a nut roast in the oven. It's like, come on, how exciting is that? I put a nut roast in the oven. I just want to chill, right? I said, oh God, come on, let's just go. We could people watch. And he said, Mom, okay, you need to get a boyfriend and then you can go out to places more. So I thought about it. And I thought, okay, let's try that on. Let's take that on board as a possibility. And I saw how resistant I was. And I saw that, for example, I love my own space. I love my house. I can't imagine sharing it truthfully with another person, like 24/7, if I'm honest. It's not a mansion. So we'd be sharing the space, right? So I thought to myself, well, how could I persuade myself to get enthusiastic about this possibility? And I thought, well, if it was a bit of a stately home, even a small stately home with a couple of wings, I could get on board with that because I could have my separate space. He could have a separate space. We could have space in the middle, space for guests. I think that could work. So I'm persuading myself, you see. Couple of days later, I am in the glamorous environment of the car wash, of the local car wash, right? I was heading off to the airport to pick up a friend at Bristol Airport. And I was just checking the flight details that it was, on time on my car. I was getting washed. It was one of those hand wash places. And I could feel someone approaching me. The way you just know when someone's coming towards you. So I sort of looked up from my phone and it was this chap. And he said, oh, I love your car. It's so cheerful. It's a little red Fiat Abarth thingamy. I said, yeah, so handy, easy to park. And he said, do you live around here? I haven't seen you around. And I said, we had that conversation where, hey, no, I've just recently moved and it's lovely and all of that stuff. And he pointed to his car and it was a Maserati. And then he started to it was the strangest experience. Sell himself to me. What can I say? There's no other way of saying it. Telling me about his local businesses and that house that he lived in, a couple of villages away, which was had something like 20 rooms and they had 6 staff and gardeners. And he was like, yeah, it's the upkeep. There's so much to do. And I was so shocked. And there isn't a fairy tale ending. You're thinking, well, Fiona, are you in the stately home? He's there, you're there, placed in the middle. No, here's what happened. I just said, oh, look, my car's ready. I gotta go. And dashed out of that place. Dashed out of the place. So here's what I got to see. I got to see my resistance, because a couple of days after I had visualized how I could get on board with this addition in my life, that very possibility showed up. It was like on offer, available. And I got to see that I had still so much resistance to that particular outcome. I'm sharing it with you because if you haven't got a particular result that possibly for months or even years you have flirted with in your mind, because sometimes we can flirt with things in our mind, right? We think, yeah, maybe, and then you get on board with it and it shows up, and maybe you're not really on board with it. You get to look at your resistance. So listen, it's been so great to be with you guys today, and apologies for being late again. So just to recap, dream, do something different. And if you're dragging yourself towards that result and it's not happening, resistance. Okay. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. Put any comments, any questions, anything at all in the thread. I will have a look, see it, and I'll get back to you. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. All the best for now. Bye.